Good morning. This is Steve and Doris on Dockside Chats. This is somewhere around our 60th.
We've lost count.
Yeah, but we're happy to do these, enjoy them every time. And Doris is going to talk a little bit now about a pen pal that she had and a small world that it is.
Yeah. No matter what we do, we keep finding it's a small world. So I have this sheaf of letters here that I'm going to read a few things from. I was in a little art gallery where they did framing on Hilton Head Island, getting a painting framed many years ago. This is back in around January 1973, and in walks a very handsome gentleman who turned out to be Cliff Robertson, who at that time was a very famous actor. He died in 2017 at the age of 88, so some of you may not have ever heard of him, but he did win an Oscar for the film Charlie, and he played John F. Kennedy in PT 109, and he had many other roles, and so anyway, he's an interesting guy. So he saw the painting, and he wanted to know who the artist was, because he was looking for someone who he could get to do a painting that he would give to his daughter. This would be a special painting that he would commission. The artist's name was Caselli, but I did not know how to reach him. So I told him I'd try to find out. And so it took me a little while, but I did finally find out who he was, and I got his resume and I sent it to him. And at the time, I was Mrs. Colgate and he was Mr. Cliff Robertson, and we had a series of letter writing going back and forth about once a month. And so around February, it was February 25th, 1973, I got a letter from him, and this is what he wrote on. This is his stationery, and it is written to Dear Mrs. Colgate and signed Cliff Robertson. Now, I kept copies of all of my correspondence with him because that's the kind of thing I do, and in those days, this is carbon paper copies. There were no computers, folks. So anyway, it's letter writing time. So he wrote back to me. He was thanking me for all the information. He had gotten someone else to do the painting, and he said, I had an occasion to make, I'm going to put my glasses on, a 90-minute special for ABC this past fall at Mystic and Providence, where we shot the film The Man Without a Country on both the Charles W. Morgan and the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights couple were most attractive and cordial, and I was curious if you were aware of their ship and their operations. Well, we were more than aware, because the Bill of Rights, a 125-foot schooner, was a boat that we chartered quite often to run coastal and celestial navigation courses on, and 3-day weekend courses. That particular weekend, Joe Davis, who owned the boat, who was a lovely, lovely guy, but quite forgetful, had forgotten that he had also chartered the boat to someone to do, to a film crew, to do something for a movie. And he said to us before we went up, it was out of Newport, before we arrived to do it, he said, I'm afraid we'll have to cut this to 2 days, not 3 days. He said, all right, fine, we'll do that. But we did indeed get our 3 days in, because in addition to forgetting about the fact that he had chartered it to a film crew, he forgot to bring his push boat. Now, this schooner, the Bill of Rights, 125 feet long, does not have an engine. It has a push boat. The push boat fits into an area in the back. The push boat is quite small. It has a great big engine in it, and it pushes the boat and gets it back to harbor if there's no wind. By the end of the second day, when we should have been back, the wind had pooped out completely, and we couldn't get back because we didn't have the push boat. So we finally got there, and I then wrote to Mr. Robertson, Dear Mr. Robertson, thanks for your letter, February 25th. It is a very small world. We were the group that chartered the Bill of Rights the weekend you were due to shoot The Burial at Sea, and we were the reason you were delayed in getting aboard that Monday. So up until then, you know, it was Mr. Robertson and Mrs. Colgate. On April 24th, I got a letter saying, "Dear Doris, small world indeed. So you were the group that chartered the Bill of Rights the weekend we were due to shoot the sea burial," with an exclamation point. Although I wasn't directly involved, I heard rumblings at the time that there were to be, in addition to a sea burial, a few heads rolling around Newport. However, and notwithstanding, everything worked out all right, and they got the shot. Is this a small world? Oh my goodness, it sure is. But it's even smaller, and he does mention down below in this same letter, happened to run across an old issue of Sports Illustrated the other day and saw a very nice article with pictures of your husband and a couple of attractive ladies, models, I assume. Thought it was a good article and most inviting. So, yes, that article was in Sports Illustrated, the January, I think it comes out early February. It's the swim issue, and we were the focus of it. In fact, I even put on a bathing suit hoping to get into it, which of course I didn't because these models were true models, and they were incredible in their wet t-shirts and whatever. So, this small world got even smaller because Steve's going to tell you that Dina Merrill, who Cliff Robertson was married to at the time we were going through all this correspondence, and by the way, if these letters are worth anything, let me know, folks. Maybe I could sell them. But so, who is Dina Merrill, Steve?
Deanie, as we called her, was an actress, and she was my cousin's wife. Stan Rumbo was my cousin, and she was married to Stan Rumbo. Her mother was Marjorie Merriweather Hutton, Post.
Post.
And her father was Edward Hutton, so Post and Hutton together, and they were enormously wealthy. And in 1946, when I was 11 years old, I saw Stan and Deanie getting married, and I fell in love. I mean, she was our Grace Kelly, you know.
I think he's still in love with her. She too has passed away.
Yeah, well. So anyway, that's the small world it is,
Yeah.
that Cliff was married to my cousin's wife.
After she left Stan Rumbo. So here we are, folks. We'll probably have some more small world episodes to tell you later on. We're done for today, and we'll see you next weekend. Bye-bye.